Good morning, students. Uh, Now, yesterday we have studied about the astupas and sculptures depicted or related with the astupas. Now, in our previous class, we had seen how the astupas were decorated with the lavish sculptures and people to attract the people and its visitors. Many of the many of sculptures of trees, plants, animals, or sculptures of human beings, women, men, a sculpture from of the depicting the village life, renunciation, or associated with the Buddhist and the Sanskrit text also. Many sculptures related to the stories of Buddhist and Sanskrit text we have studied in our previous class. Students, now you know very well that the notion of savior now became or began from the Buddhism. Now, after the split in the Buddhism or in Buddhist cult, in the uh, fourth Buddhist council held at Kashmir, the where and during the reign of Kanishka, it held at the Kanishka, at the Kashmir, and where the two sects disappeared, one named as the Mahayana sect, and other named as the Hinayana. So you know very well the Mahayana who had devotion and who now accepted the Gautam Buddha as a god or begin to worship the statue of Gautam Buddha as they are part of expressing their faith. And other hand, we have seen that now Hinayana they follow the sermons of Gautam Buddha as their main torch of the Buddhism. Gautam Buddha's sermons they followed. So after this faction, or now this Buddhism was now motivated or it was inspired by the notion of saviors. It means that now Gautam Buddha was appeared and he was now considered as the savior who now ensures the nirvana, who helps in the getting the nirvana. Understand? So this notion developed very early in the Buddhism. Means time, first time, or first of all, the first time the statue of Gautam Buddha began to be the worshipped, and it was centered. It's a art and Buddha's statue were just framed and formed in the Gandhar arts. And Gandhar art was completely influenced by the Hellenic culture, influenced by the his Gautam Buddha statue, which were made in the black stone, and its figure, and he was personified. Understand? As a Apollo god, which was who was now revered in the Greek culture. Understand? So we see that they say to so later on by the passage of the time, even in Hinduism, a new notion now appeared, and the two sects began to be the very popular in northern India and the southern India. The two sects, first the Vaishnavism and the Saivism, and particularly another other name is that Alvar and Naina. They were called as the others name also. So here we see that Vaishnavism recognizes the 10 avatars, 10 avatar of the Vishnu, 10 avatar, or Vishnu was saviors. That now whenever the now law and orders, whenever the moral values it disappears and evils prevalence everywhere on this earth. So then in any form and any form, the Vishnu takes the avatars and then after the brings and brings end to these all the destroy these evils and brings the order in this world. So this notion was prevalent, and so the in Hindu culture, the 10 avatar of the Gautam Buddha has been the recognized or the accepted. And now on these avatara or incarnations now happened and was revered in the different parts of our country. Or in fact, recognizing the local deities, a form of Vishnu was an important step taken in the direction of creating a more unified religious tradition. Now even the Vishnu had been seen in the different avatars at a local level or in the different parts of the country. So that's why this belief now no doubt brought the different parts of the peoples together and the unified in a one traditions and the one beliefs in the Vishnu or and his incarnations. So in this way, or this no doubt unified the religious tradition. Moreover, sculpture registered a significant growth under the Puranic Hinduism, or many incarnations of Vishnus were presented in the sculptures. Many of 10 avatars the Vishnu had. So now this way sculpture. Other deities were also depicted, or these avatars, 10 avatars, began to be depicted in the structure, in the statue of the Buddha, sorry, a statue of the Vishnu. And moreover, we can see that the even the Shiva began to be the depicted or began to be a sculpture as Shiva was symbolized in the now symbolized by the linga, and even sometime he was symbolized in the human form. He was symbolized also in the human form, and as well Shiva was symbolized as a linga. Understand? So now we can say the basis of all these depictions were complex ideas. Complex ideas. These all depictions, whatever this was a complex idea, ideas about the deities. The attributes of the deities were depicted. Their attributes, their qualities were depicted through the symbols such as the headdresses, ornaments, ayudhas means the weapons, having in a different hands the weapons, and the posture of their sittings. So these god and goddesses attributes began to be shown in their postures, in their holding the different things in their hands. Understand? So this now represent their dresses, ornament. This now express the attributes of these different god and goddesses. One thing is that now historians now they examine the many of the begin to examine many of these sculptures. Art historian started again seeking the theme of this sculpture, the expression and the actual story behind these sculptures. So uh, where could they find? So they have started studying the religious script, Hindu scriptures. Puranas, where they wanted to find out the, and now particularly we know very well that this Purana has been compiled and composed by the Brahmanas in the middle of the first millennium AD. They were generally written in the simple Sanskrit verses. These Purana had been composed in the simple Sanskrit verses, and traditionally they were read aloud so that everybody could listen to them. Purana were in the beginning read aloud so that everyone whosoever there around could listen this and understand this. And we should remember that according to the Brahminical text, women and the Sudras were not allowed to, even not allowed to read the Vedic text. We know according to our Dharma Shastra, the women and Sudras were not allowed at all. At all. But they could, one relaxation was that, however, now his worship spread, however, they could listen to the Puranas. They could listen to this Purana, but not touch the Purana and read out this. This or listening was permissible for them. Moreover, and we see that the Purana evolved through the interaction amongst the people. This text Purana, understand, this developed by the through the interaction among the people, and as well as the traveling of the merchants, priests, and the common folk from one place to other place. They moved and roamed and helped exchange their beliefs and the ideas. Okay, they roamed in the different parts of the country and exchanged their beliefs and the ideas. And Vasudev Krishna was the one of the important local deities of the Mathura region. However, his worship spread almost throughout the country gradually. His worship gradually just spread almost the whole. Moreover, construction of temples features. Now we say in the Buddhism, the temples in the Buddhism, the statue began to be constructed, and now in Hinduism also the construction of temples is started. First, the early temples had the first of all early temples had its structure. The now early temples had this is called as the Garbhagriha. Garbhagriha. This is the called as the Garbhagriha. First, a single room. Garbhagriha, a square. The early temple had a square single room. Understand? Or moreover, it had a single doorway. It had a single in the beginning. How the temples construction started? The temples were made in the three styles. In the northern India, Nagar style. In the extreme southern India, the Dravid style, or in mid was the Besar style in the Deccan Plateau, where the Besar style was adopted. So now, particularly in northern India, in Nagar styles was adopted, and here we can see that we know the Garbhagriha, it had single doorway. The worshippers could enter inside through the door or to the worship image. Here is the image. or any worshipper could enter in this room through this doorway. Any worshipper could enter in this doorway through this. Now we can see here in this doorway through this main doorway, and moreover to worship the image. Gradually, a tall structure came to be built on the Garbhagriha. Gradually, a new traditions started. A tall structure began to be built upon this Garbhagriha. Garbhagriha. And this top called as the Shikhar. Shikhar. And down topmost, this is called as the Shikhar. Understand? And upon that, a massive structure was built. Massive structure. This was built upon that. So this is the, and at its top, it is the called as the Shikhar. Walls of temples were decorated with beautiful pieces of sculptures, and the walls of the temples began to sculpted with a beautiful figures, sculpted, beautiful figures. Walls were and the further walls and the Shikhar, beautiful pieces of sculpture, and later on another development. This temple architecture saw temple registered significant growth. Large assembly hall or the huge wall. Large assembly hall began to be made, constructed. Large assembly hall. Large assembly hall began to be constructed for the gatherings. For gatherings, ye assembly hall they started to build upon that, and moreover, and a assembly hall, huge walls and imposing the gateway, and moreover, around that huge walls begin to be the fall. Huge walls, and upon that many sculptures, where many statue or sculptures began to be the fall, began to construct it, and a big gate, great, a huge gate was here, and that was the decorated gates came to built in temple, or huge walls imposing the gateway, and the huge gates very imposing huge gates began to be the form here, and moreover we see that now every temples had a very good arrangements of the water supply, because we know that the hundreds of thousands of pilgrims every day used to come in the temples, so for them, and the hundreds and thousands of the people belonging to the temple's management or the temple's works lived. So that's why the water supply was ensured. Very well water supply around the temples was well ensured. And moreover, we see that the architecture of this period inspired by religions to a large extent. Large extent, architectures, whatever the architectures was made and constructed, it was motivated by the religion, and many temples built during this period, which Dasa Avatara temples at the Devgarh, Dasa Avatara temple at Devgarh, Shiva temple at Bhumara, and Parvati temple at Nachana, and Vishnu temple at Tigava. The temple of Bhitargaon are particularly very important. Bhitargaon temple is very well explained, alluded, and remarkable for the unique architectural style. These temples are the very architecture. A salient feature of early temples was that some of these were the hollowed out. Some temples had been the hollowed out from a big piece of the rocks, huge rocks. From the huge rocks, rocks were hollowed out, or in that temples, and the statue was constructed. Artificial caves were also main features of the ancient period. Many of the artificial caves were carved out. Tradition artificial caves was an old one, very and earliest artificial caves we are going to see built in the 3rd century BC. During the time of the Ashoka, the caves were built in order of the on the orders of Ashoka the Great. He and for the renouncers of the Ajivaka, they were the renouncers, and for them to leave them and to reside them in the caves. For this sect, Ashoka now ordered to construct the caves, and we find the reference of the 7 caves built in Maurya period, and amongst that 4 were built by the Ashoka alone. 4 caves were, and the 3 of that by his grandson Dasrath. 3 caves Dasrath. But these caves, among these caves were built on a Nagarjun hills. Nagarjun hills and the Barabar hills near Gaya. This was near the Gaya. Ashoka had particularly got made this and built by Ashoka. Sudama caves and the cave of Lomas Rishi. Sudama cave of the Lomas Rishi are many magnificent examples, and some of the excellent rock cut caves were excavated in the Deccan also. Some of the rock cut caves were now constructed in the Deccan. We can see that. So now here we may see through this beautiful, apart from that, the caves of Ajanta are very remarkable. And the Ajanta caves are the very or a specimen of the architecture. Ajanta, their beautiful pillars are now various designed. Ajanta caves, now we have its pillar are very beautiful, well designed, and their inner walls and the ceilings are decorated. Inner walls and the ceilings are well decorated. Inner walls are well decorated, and finest painting with the finest paintings. Ajanta cave has been just painted on its wall. Inner walls represents good paintings, and also in the roof and ceilings. This is also represents the good paintings or ceilings. Moreover, there are rock cut astupa caves. Rock cut astupa caves. Understand? So these are the rock amongst that caves and Vihara monastery cave at the Bagh in the Madhya Pradesh. In the Bagh in the Madhya Pradesh. Though the Bagh caves are simple, Bagh caves had its own feature, very simple from architectural point of view. It is a very simple. Now, moreover, and points of view, and these have been decorated with the finest paintings. These Bagh cave have been decorated with the finest painting, and the caves at Ellora, one of the magnificent. The Ellora are the remarkable specimen of the rock cut Bihar, rock cut Biharas, and the Chaitya halls, rock cut Bihara and Chaitya halls. Okay, in that respect, in terms the now Ajanta caves represents us a very magnificent features. Moreover, now this is the of these Vishwakarma Chaitya cave is the unique creation. Among these caves, Vishwakarma, Nimna the Vishwakarma cave, it is the very good or the specific creations, and we know from a copper plates. Now we find a copper plates and or the inscription upon that it has been inscribed, and what was uttered by the completion of the temple at Ellora, the chief sculptures, his utterings or his now all of a sudden his astonishment, he astonished, understand, all of a sudden, and what the words he just uttered, and the he exclaimed after the completion of the Ellora temple, what the this term? Oh, how did I make it? Oh, how did I make it? This word uttered after the completion of Ellora temple by the chief sculptures. Then now this has been the asked in the board examination, and it is the these words are asked. Who uttered this? Understand? So remember, these words are very important from viewpoint of your study, from viewpoint of your study. Understand? The moreover, magnificence, monolithic means the caves or the structure carve out carve out of a one big blocks of rocks. So this is called as the by the temples and anything and caves carve out from the one big blocks of the rocks. Temples cutting of the block of a hillside were built during the period under the temples was spacious significant characteristics of these temples were which were the carved out from the huge block of rocks. Understand? So these were the significant characteristics of these temples was a spacious hall. This was a spacious hall. Finally carved pillars in 7th century Pallav kings Mahendra Burman or Narsingh Burman. Mahendra Pallav king, Mahendra Burman or Narsingh Burman built the Mammalpuram temples. Mammalpuram temples were got constructed by the two kings, Pallav kings, Mahendra Burman or Narsingh Burman. These are the popularly known as the Rathas or the Rath temples. That this is the called as the Rathas and Rath temples. This tradition reached its climax in the Kailasnath temple at Ellora. At Kailasnath temple at Ellora, these architectures now got its zenith points and the climax. The entire structure of the temple is carved out of a single piece of rocks. Entire the just temples has been the carved out from the a single piece of the rocks, huge rocks. You can understand this. Now, how this became the very much possible for them. So now, students, today I have mentioned this all. Okay, the next one or two topic is hardly remains. One topic, I suppose that one period will be taken for the further topic to be the covered. Understand? Then this chapter will be finished. So I suppose that the fourth chapter of the first book, Ancient History, will be the end, finished. And in the unit test, he will prepare the fourth chapter. Understand? Fourth chapter, he will prepare for the unit test, or this chapter is I suppose the completed. Only a few topics I have to do the few minutes it will take to be the finished. Understand? So you prepare different kinds of the questions, question answers. Understand? And for entire book, Ancient History, thoroughly if he will prepare. Understand? Or this and then after according to the CBSE syllabus, we shall go through the study in the medieval India. Understand? That is the much for this. Okay, thank you very much.